All right, so get this. We're diving into the world of virtual logo design today.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It is, and you know what's even more interesting?
What's that?
We're talking about building a whole business around this.
Really?
Yeah, helping brands craft their visual identity and get this, you don't even need to be like a design guru to do it.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So we found this article that really breaks it all down.
Okay.
And it's all about using some pretty clever outsourcing strategies to make some serious profit.
Outsourcing. Huh. So you're saying I don't even need to design the logos myself?
Exactly.
You got it.
That's pretty wild.
Oof.
Okay, so tell me more about this business model. How does it actually work?
Well, first let's talk about the demand, because you got to have customers, right?
Right, of course.
And in today's digital world, logos are more important than ever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Everyone and their grandma has a website or a social media presence these days.
exactly. Even like small
Yeah.
businesses, food trucks, everyone needs a strong visual identity to stand out. It's all about first impressions, right? You got to grab people's attention in a split second.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's where a great logo comes in. It's that instant recognition that can make or break a brand.
Especially online where there's so much competition.
Exactly. So you're basically filling a crucial gap in the market. There are tons of businesses out there who need logos, but they might not be able to afford a traditional design agency.
Right. So this model gives them a more affordable option.
Precisely. Okay, so let's say I'm listening to this and I have zero design experience.
Okay.
Can I really do... Is it as simple as the article makes it sound?
You know, it's surprisingly accessible even for someone with no design background.
Really?
Yeah. The article talks about platforms like Canva.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, they have all these user-friendly tools and templates that you can use to create professional-looking logos.
Interesting.
Plus, you can collaborate with clients entirely online, so you can manage this business from anywhere with an internet connection.
So I could literally be sitting on a beach, sipping a margarita, and designing logos for clients all over the world.
Pretty much.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through this. So I land a client, I get their vision for their logo, and then I just use Canva to whip it up.
You can definitely do that.
Okay.
But the article focuses on a slightly different approach, which is where the real profit potential comes in.
Okay, I'm all ears.
It's all about outsourcing.
Outsourcing. So you're saying I don't even have to touch Canva?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Okay, this is getting good. Explain this outsourcing magic to me.
So it's all about leveraging freelance platforms like Fiverr.
I've heard of Fiverr.
Yeah, it's basically a giant marketplace where you can connect with skilled designers from all over the world.
Okay.
And you essentially act as the middleman. You manage the client relationship and oversee the design process.
So I'm like the project manager.
Exactly. You find a designer on Fiverr who fits the client's needs and budget. You set your own price for the client and then you pocket the difference.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me I could find a designer on Fiverr who might charge, say, $50 for a logo,
Right.
and then I could turn around and sell that same logo to my client for $150 or even more.
You got it.
That's a crazy profit margin.
It is. It's all about understanding the market value of a good logo and providing a seamless service to your clients.
So I'm adding value by handling the communication, making sure the quality's up to par, and delivering the final product.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Yep.
The client gets a great logo at a reasonable price, the designer gets paid for their work, and you build a profitable business without being a design expert yourself.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. So tell me, what kind of money are we talking about here? What does the article say about how much someone could realistically earn doing this?
They give some pretty solid examples.
Okay.
So basic logos, they say, those could go for anywhere from 50 to 100 bucks.
Okay.
And then more complex designs could go for 150 to 500 or even more.
Wow. So if you're doing like full branding packages,
Yeah.
the earning potential just keeps going up.
Ex-
Okay, so let's do some quick math here.
Right.
Let's say I land just 10 clients a month
Okay.
with an average profit of, I don't know, let's say $120 per logo.
That's 1,200 bucks in profit right there.
That's just from logos.
And that's just the beginning.
Hold on. Let me make sure our listeners following this.
Okay.
So with just 10 clients a month, you could potentially be making over $1,000 on the side, and that's not even including any of those additional services or scaling up the business.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of this model. It's super flexible and you can scale it at your own pace.
So I could start small, working a few hours a week from my kitchen table, and then gradually grow as I get more clients.
Precisely.
This is starting to sound less like a side hustle and more like a legit career change.
It definitely has that potential.
But, okay, let's get real for a second. How do I even find reliable designers on Fiverr? I mean, there must be thousands of them on there.
There are. It's a huge platform.
So how do I know who's good and who's not?
Well, the article talks about the importance of doing targeted searches using specific keywords.
Okay.
So think about the style of logo you need, like minimalist or vintage or playful, and then you can browse portfolios that align with that style.
So I'm basically acting like a curator, handpicking designers that I think would be a good fit for my clients.
Yeah, you're becoming a design consultant in a way, helping businesses shape their visual identity.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Mm.
But what about pricing? How do I know I'm getting a good deal on Fiverr? And how do I make sure the quality is up to par?
Those are great questions, and the article has some good advice on that front.
Okay, let's hear it.
So when it comes to pricing, it's all about finding that sweet spot
Sweet spot between what?
between quality and affordability. You don't want to automatically go for the cheapest option because you might end up sacrificing quality,
Right.
but you also want to be mindful of your budget and the profit margin you're aiming for.
So it's a balancing act.
It is. And then once you've found a designer with the right skills, and pricing, the key to a successful collaboration is clear communication.
Okay, so let's dive into that in our next segment. We'll explore how to manage those client and designer relationships, make sure the communication is smooth, and ultimately deliver those exceptional results.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. So before we even talk about like hiring a designer,
Yeah,
we got to talk about the brief.
the brief. Okay,
You got to have a rock solid brief ready to go.
so what does that even mean? Like, what should be in this magical brief?
It all starts with the client, you know,
Okay.
really getting crystal clear on what they need, what their goals are for this logo.
Okay, so like, what message are they trying to convey?
Exactly.
Oh.
What vibe are they going for? Do they have any like specific colors they want to use or fonts or anything?
Okay, so I'm basically translating their vision into something a designer can actually work with.
You got it. And once you've actually hired,
Yeah.
the designer communication is key.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do you even do that? Like, are we talking emails, phone calls, carrier pigeon?
Luckily, these platforms like Fiverr, they usually have built-in messaging system.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. So you can keep everything in one place and stay in touch with the designer throughout the whole process.
Okay, so what am I actually talking to them about? Like, is it just approving drafts, or is there more to it?
Think of yourself as the project manager, you know?
Okay.
You're guiding the ship, making sure everything stays on course.
I like that analogy.
So you'll want to give the designer feedback on those initial concepts, you know, maybe suggest some tweaks or refinements, and of course, make sure they're meeting those deadlines.
Okay, so how hands-on should I be? Like, do I need to be micromanaging every little detail, or should I give them some creative freedom?
It's a balance, you know?
Okay.
You got to strike that balance between providing clear direction, but also letting the designer use their expertise.
Right, I mean, I hired them for a reason, right?
Exactly. The article really emphasizes the importance of trust. Like, you've chosen this designer, so let them do their thing.
Okay.
But don't be afraid to speak up if something's not quite right.
Okay, so clear communication, constructive feedback, and building that rapport with the designer.
Got it. But what happens if things go south?
Oh.
Like, what if the client hates the final design or there are delays?
Yeah, that's where your problem-solving skills come in.
Okay.
You got to be ready to handle those tricky situations professionally.
So, like, what are some tips for that?
Well, the article suggests setting clear expectations with the client up front. You know, having a revision process in place and just being transparent about any challenges that might pop up.
So I'm not just a design middleman. I'm also customer service and conflict resolution.
It's all part of the job.
Okay. That sounds like a lot of hats to wear.
It can be, but remember, you're building a business.
Right.
And with any business, there are going to be bumps in the road.
True. That's part of the fun, right?
Exactly. It's all part of that entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of the journey, let's talk about scaling this thing up.
Okay.
Because we've been talking about logos, but the article also mentioned expanding beyond that, right?
Oh, yeah. This business model has tons of growth potential.
Okay. So paint me a picture. What does that look like?
So you start with logos, you get really good at it, and then you gradually start offering more services.
Like what?
Well, think about it. Once you've nailed a client's logo, they might need business cards, website banners, social media graphics, the whole shebang.
So I become their one-stop shop for all things visual.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm liking this.
Yeah,
So would I still be using Fiverr to find freelancers for all these extra services?
absolutely. Fiverr has a huge pool of talent specializing in all kinds of design.
So I could have a whole virtual team of designers working for me.
You could. And as you grow, you might even want to bring on some in-house designers, either as employees or contractors.
Okay. So we're talking about a full-fledged design agency here.
We are. The possibilities are endless.
Okay, my head is spinning but in a good way. So let's recap for our listener. What are the main perks of this business model?
Well, we talked about low overhead, flexible hours, the ability to work from anywhere.
Right. You don't need a fancy office to do this.
Exactly. You can run this whole thing from your laptop.
Yeah.
And the flexibility is a huge draw for a lot of people.
Okay. So freedom, flexibility, but there's got to be some downsides, right? Nothing's perfect.
Of course there are challenges. Like with any business, you got to hustle, you got to market your services, you got to manage your finances.
Right. And stay on top of trends.
Exactly. There's a lot to learn, and you got to be willing to adapt.
So it's not just about playing around with fonts and colors.
It's more than that. You need to be organized, detail-oriented, have good communication skills, and know how to solve problems.
And probably have a thick skin too, right?
Oh, yeah. Resilience is key. Building a business is tough, especially in the beginning.
Okay. So we've talked about the good, the bad, the ugly.
Mm.
But there's one more thing from the article I want to touch on. So the article touched on this idea of recurring revenue and how that can make this business model even more appealing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So explain that a little bit more. Like, how does that work in the context of virtual logo design?
Well, once you've kind of like built up your client base
Yeah.
and you've got those strong relationships going, those clients are likely to come back to you for more, you know.
Right. Because they trust you.
Exactly. They already know you deliver good work, so why would they go anywhere else?
And as their business grows, they might need more design work.
Exactly. So you could end up with this steady stream of projects.
And steady income.
Precisely. It's a
Yeah.
great way to create a sustainable business, you know, one that you can really count on.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the demand for logos, the whole outsourcing process, profit margin, scaling, marketing, all that good stuff.
It's been quite a deep dive.
It has.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to our listener for a second. Like, what does this all mean for someone listening right now?
Right. Well, I think the big question is,
Yeah.
could this be your next side hustle
Ooh.
or even a full-time career change? You know, the barrier to entry is pretty low, the profit potential is there, and the flexibility is unmatched.
I mean, it's a pretty tempting opportunity, right?
It is. And the cool thing is you can kind of like ease into it. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to go all in right away. You can start small, test the water, see if it's a good fit for you.
And if it's not, no harm, no foul.
Exactly. You've gained some valuable experience either way.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening to this and they're intrigued. What's the next step? What should they do?
I would say dive into those resources we mentioned, you know.
Yeah.
Check out Canva, play around with it, see what you can create.
Get a feel for the tools.
Exactly. And then hop on over to Fiverr and just browse around, see what kind of designers are out there, what their pricing is like.
Get inspired.
Exactly. And just imagine yourself running this kind of business.
Yeah. Could you see yourself doing this?
Because who knows? Maybe a year from now we'll be having you on the show as a guest talking about your success story.
That would be amazing. I
Yeah.
would love that.
So if this has sparked even a tiny bit of interest,
Yeah.
don't ignore it, explore it. You know, you never know where it could lead.
That's what I always say. You got to follow your curiosity.
Exactly. And sometimes that curiosity can lead you to a whole new path.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's a wrap on this deep dive into the world of virtual logo design.
It's been fun.
It has. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, keep chasing those dreams.